Welcome to part 2 of this Maverick F training mission for the AV-8B Harrier. Again, this is different to most tutorials in that it isn't going to show you how to fire a Maverick as such, but how to engage multiple targets quickly. This time, we're not going to have a single group of targets. Instead, we're going to have separate groups, and we have to take out a specific target within that group. In this case, each group will have a Scud missile launcher. So, let's make a start. We have a little bit more to do, so instead of heading straight toward the target, we're just going to enter a gentle orbit, which should give us a little bit more time. Let's engage autopilot to hold that orbit. And once again, we're going to bring up the T-pod. Double press the sensor select down twice to enter T-pod mode. And then we're going to hit designate on the AHSD to slow our T-pod to waypoint 1. And sensor select right to change the field of view, and the zoom buttons on the MFD to zoom in. Okay, let's have a little pause here. In part 1, we used a single target of opportunity in the general vicinity of the targets. Here, however, we are going to use several TOOs, but this time we need a very precise location, especially for targets 2 through to 4. The reason is that we are going to flick through each target with a next waypoint switch, and we want a specific target within that group. So we'll lock the precise target data in via the TOO. Okay, let's continue. Press TDC action to T-pod designate, then press the target of opportunity button and enter. Then hit next waypoint on the AHSD and use the TDC to acquire the target. And again, TDC action to designate. Repeat the TOO entries until you have all targets mapped. As a quick note, the TOO will start at 1 and move upwards. However, you can manually enter a different number if you choose. If, say for example, the first target you mapped wasn't the first target you wanted to actually attack. And that's 4 targets of opportunity locked into the system. It's probably worth checking that you have all 4 targets mapped by going to T01 on your waypoint and then flicking through 1 through to 4 and checking that the T-pod seeker moves to each of the 4 locations. Remembering to set T01 when you're finished. That looks good, so we're going to roll on to our target, engage master arm to ground master mode, and we are going to arm the Maverick. Let's engage autopilot. So now we're going to uncage the Maverick, change the field of view, and change to IR-MAV using sensor select forward. Again, I'm using step on the MFD to slew all 4 seeker heads to the same location. As you can see, we have the Maverick pointing straight at the target, but at 19 miles we're going to have to close in to get a lock. The maximum range you can get a lock for the IR-MAV is normally around 11.5 miles, but that depends on the target and the weather. Today is a fairly clear day. There are a few clouds around, but they shouldn't be a problem. If they are for you, then you should try to avoid them as you ingress. So we have a lock at 11.6 miles, and now is a good time for a brief pause because once again it's going to get a little bit busy. Interestingly, there are a couple of different ways to proceed once your first missile is off the rail. So the steps we have are uncage, next waypoint, sensor select forward for IR-MAV mode, field of view, TDC action. This is optional. If you don't get an instant lock, pressing TDC action can expedite the lock, especially when you're not moving the crosshairs like in this situation. Obtain lock, fire, and repeat. The key difference is when you hit next waypoint in relation to uncaging the seeker. If you uncage first, then hit next waypoint, you will see the Maverick slew to the next target, which gives you confidence that all is well. However, when you hit the field of view button, it changes the crosshairs from white to black, which can be difficult to see. However, it'll change back from black to white at the next target. If, however, you hit next waypoint first, the crosshairs stay white, which I prefer, but you don't see the seeker head slew, which personally I think is more important. Here I will do both, but I prefer to uncage first normally. Okay, so with that, let's resume the action. Rifle. 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 And that's 4 Mavericks away, and we are still 10 miles away from the target. We'll break away so we don't get too close to the target area in case it's defended. And we'll just re-engage autopilot there for a second. And there we can see the 4 Mavericks en route to the targets. Shack 1, Shack 2, Shack 3, and Shack 4. So that concludes part 2 of this tutorial. Please hit like and subscribe if you like the video, and hopefully I can bring you some more tutorials soon.